The gladdest moment in a human life, I believe, is the departure into unknown land. Indians and their love for homes have taken a step ahead. Not only in India, but Indians are all set to make their mark in overseas as well. Hello and welcome to Expert Advice. This is Mansi Dave, and we are here with another exciting segment where our experts will share their views on a leading trend in the real estate sector. Indians are the largest number of non-Arab investors in the real estate market of Dubai. They have invested around 44 billion Arab Emirates dirham till now. The year 2014 itself saw an investment in real estate of about 18.1 billion Arab Emirates in dirham, which is around 30,000 crores of INR. Indians own most number of flats in the Burj Khalifa, which is termed to be the tallest tower in the world. From business tycoons to celebrities to expat workers to corporate executives, everyone is investing in Dubai. Today we are going to talk about Indians investing in Dubai. What is it that attracts Indians to invest in Dubai? What kind of properties do they invest in? Why do they invest in Dubai? All these answers today will be given by our expert panel. To discuss the Dubai real estate market and why Indians are flocking there, today we have with us Mr. Srinivasan Arun. Mr. Srinivasan Arun is a CA and leading management consultant based in Dubai. He has been in Dubai since last 20 years and has worked with Big Four consulting firms and various MNCs. At present, he runs Venture Consulting, which is a firm which specializes in corporate finance and real estate backed transaction. Hello, Mr. Srinivasan Arun. How are you?
Good.
Another guest which we have is Mr. Paresh Karia. Mr. Paresh Karia has always been with us in various expert advice to give his expert views. He is a director of Easy2ownEstate, a firm which specializes in real estate investment advisory to HNI and NRIs. So how are you?
Very well.
It's a pleasure having you here on our show. To start with, Mr. Srinivasan, I would like to ask you as to what are the reasons that Dubai is attracting so much of Indian investment in real estate?
Mainly it's the return on investment because there's a high rental yield and also property appreciation and ease of getting the transaction done. You can buy a property within 24 hours and sell within 24 hours without any taxes or without any sort of hassles which you see in other markets.
Okay, so can you comment about the Dubai real estate market, or what is the current scenario over there?
The current scenario has been pretty robust because the market opened 12 years ago. Initially, people were investing in off-plan assets. Now, the properties have been delivered. People can invest in properties. They can look, see, feel, and experience, and then invest in the properties. The infrastructure is very well developed. There are more than $20 billion of infrastructure assets been put in there. The metro is functional. There are 3 terminals of airport. This is one of the largest airport. Maktam International Airport is up and running. So with all this, people can see the reality which has evolved over the last 5 years.
Mr. Paresh Karia, tell us what are the categories of investors who invest in Dubai real estate market?
Well, if you see, what are the different type of investors investing in Dubai market? First, we have the expats, the Indians who are working and living in Dubai. Now, they are the ones who have been staying on rent all this while. Now they have an opportunity of buying a property of their own, and the rentals in Dubai, as we know, are pretty high.
Okay.
So if these people who are staying on rent, if they buy their own property, they are able to recover the cost of the property within 8 years time. So they are the ones who are actively buying, and those who have not bought are also considering buying property in Dubai. Then we have another category of NRIs who are based in other places in Middle East, other than Dubai. They are also looking at investing in Dubai. Earlier, they used to look at India as an investment option, but now Dubai has also become pretty attractive, and they are the ones who are investing over there.
Okay.
Apart from that, we have third category of NRIs who are based in West Asia as well as Africa, who are actively investing in Dubai market because of the instability in their own country. So apart from this NRIs, we have also Indians, based in India over here, who are investing in property in Dubai. We have Indian businessmen or people who are into global business, into imports and exports. They find it easier to set up have their operations in Dubai before the ease of doing business. So they are also setting up their business entities over there and buying property for their own use as well as for investments. And the third category of Indians, which is becoming very popular, is the senior management level employees as well as the professionals in India. As we know that RBI has now liberalized investment, and outside India, under the current RBI regulations, one can invest up to 250,000 US dollar per member in a family per annum. You can remit this money outside India to buy a property. So under this route also, we are seeing a lot of investments going into Dubai.
So on this interesting note, we cut for a short break, but you don't go anywhere. We will be back in a while. What do you think are the reasons? What is it that attracts them?
The reasons are, for the first category, if we talk about people living and working in Dubai, for them it is easier now to buy a property because the rentals are very high. And like I said, instead of paying rent, if they buy the property within 8 years, they can recover the cost of the property.
Welcome back after the break. Let's continue with the conversation. Understanding the fact that all these categories of investors are investing in Dubai, what do you think are the reasons? What is it that attracts them?
The reasons are, for the first category, if we talk about people living and working in Dubai, for them it is easier now to buy a property because the rentals are very high. And like I said, instead of paying rent, if they buy the property within 8 years, they can recover the cost of the property. The second category of investors, we are talking about NRIs, who are based outside Dubai, in Middle East, in Africa, in West Asia. They are looking at investing in Dubai is because Dubai is a connecting point between those regions as well as India. And there is a lot of instability in their own country. As we all know, in Africa, West Asia, there is political instability. So they are looking at parking their funds. And earlier they used to park only in India. Now Dubai is an alternative investment option for them, because not only do they get a good rental yield, but also there are prospects of capital appreciation, right? The third category of investors, we talk about Indian businessmen. Like we said, many Indian businessmen have moved their operations to Dubai for the ease of doing business. Plus, Dubai is very strategically located. It is very well connected to Asia, Middle East, Africa, and also Europe. So they find it easy to conduct their business from a place like Dubai, which also has good infrastructure. So they are the ones who are investing over there. And the last category of investors we spoke about, the corporate executives, professionals, they are investing in Dubai because they're using it as a second home, to get away from India. Dubai is not very far away. It's just 3 hours flight from a city like Mumbai or Delhi. So they are the ones who are using it as a second home, as an aspirational value, and also for enjoying a good lifestyle which Dubai offers.
So we can say that there are various reasons why people invest in Dubai, right? From having a second home, or for enjoying a lifestyle, or for that matter, living in Dubai maybe, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. Mr. Srinivasan, my next question to you is, considering the fact that Dubai is a real good destination with regards to construction, what do you think, which areas have the most growth potential in Dubai?
Dubai is a very small city. It's a fraction of Mumbai. It is just 40 by 40 kilometers. There are pockets in which expats are allowed to invest. There are places like the downtown Dubai, where Burj Khalifa and Business Bay is situated. There is Marina, which has become sort of an icon globally. And there is Jumeirah Lake Towers, the Palm. So there are about 8 or 10 pockets which is identified for local for expat investments, and this is where most investments are concentrated. And all of them are within about 20 minutes drive from the airport and the city center. So it's all centrally located.
Okay. Mr. Paresh Karia, what do you think? How do you compare Dubai realty market with Mumbai real estate market?
A very good question. Now, if we look at, Dubai realty market, if we talk about a location like Burj Khalifa, which is in downtown Dubai, in areas in about 300 meters from Burj Khalifa, you get a good premium property at a price of 1,200 dirhams, which roughly works out to 20,000 rupees per square feet. And this again on a carpet area.
Okay.
And compared to that, if you look at Mumbai, in a place like, let's say, Bandra or Worli, or maybe in South Mumbai, the rates are anywhere from 80,000 rupees to 1 lakh rupees per square feet on carpet area. Second thing is that, in Dubai, for the price that you pay, you get a fantastic infrastructure. You have a very good roads, you have good construction building, you have the metro over there, and you have quality lifestyle. You have a clean environment without any pollution. Compared to that, in Mumbai, we know what is the situation. So if you look at it, not only the prices are very low in Dubai compared to Mumbai, but also what you get for the money that you spend is much better than what you get in Mumbai.
So, Mr. Paresh, we can infer from this that Dubai real estate market is cheaper than Mumbai real estate market, right?
Of course. It's definitely far cheaper than, the Mumbai market.
Okay.
And one of the reasons for this is that, in Mumbai, if we see there is a shortage of land. The land prices are very high because there is hardly any supply of land. Compared to that, in Dubai, the land belongs to the government. Okay. And the policy of the government is that, the government essentially sells the land and invests the same money in developing the infrastructure. So the cost that you get over the cost that you pay is virtually for the land is virtually nil, because in return you get a fantastic infrastructure.
Yeah, that's right. Mr. Srinivasan, would you like to add to it?
In addition to the same point, when you compare the two cities, in Mumbai you have to pay capital, in case you're selling a property, you have to pay capital gains tax, and there are various other taxes. In Dubai there are virtually no taxes at all, it's zero taxes. So for entry and exit, so there is no, so from an investment return point of view, it's far superior, and the dirham is pegged to the dollar. So the returns you're making is on a dollar investment, so you don't have a rupee depreciation. So when you factor all this together, the returns are far superior and ease to invest. So those are things which attract the general expats to invest in Dubai.
So all in all, it's an advantageous and advisable way, right?
Yes, it is a good alternative.
Okay. So we are discussing a very interesting topic, Indians investing in Dubai. Before we continue with the conversation, let's go for a short break. We have seen crashing in 2008 due to financial crisis. So what is your say on that?
Dubai market, real estate market, since it opened in 2002 onwards, it has been going up and up for almost 8 to 10 years. So 2008 crash came alongside with the post-Lehman crisis.
A very warm welcome after the break. Let's take the conversation forward with Mr. Paresh Karia and Mr. Srinivasan Arun. Dubai real estate market is highly volatile in nature, and we have seen crashing in 2008 due to financial crisis. So what is your say on that?
Dubai market, real estate market, since it opened in 2002 onwards, it has been going up and up for almost 8 to 10 years. So 2008 crash came alongside with the post-Lehman crisis, in which all real estate markets like Ireland, Spain, everything crashed. So Dubai also took the toll with that. The property crashed about 30%. But if you look as a long-term investor, people who kept invested for the last 15 years, the value has been appreciating. That crash got recovered within about 18 months. So this business cycle is natural in any market, and Dubai is no exception to that. But for that particular incident, it has been sort of constantly been stable. Both in the rental yields have significantly gone up since then, and also property is appreciating as in line with the global markets.
So how do you think the Dubai real estate market has changed since then?
The good thing about a small government like Dubai is that when a crash like this happens, immediately new regulations come into play. First is that the builders earlier could sell off-plan property just out of a drawing board. Now they have to fulfill a lot of requirements, much stringent than what it is in India. And all the money which they get from the investors, they need to put in an escrow account. They can't spend in other projects. So there has been a lot of regulations come in. And also the transaction fees, which was 2% earlier, which attracted a lot of speculators, has increased to 4%, so which reduces speculation. So there has been a lot of regulations which have come into play in order to sort of avert any future such crisis.
Also to add to that, earlier the mortgage was liberally available. Now there has been some restrictions also have been put in. There are guidelines put in to up to the amount of loan that you can take on various properties. So that has also been brought in order to curb speculation in the real estate.
On the mortgage front, it is much more fairer. Anyone with a legitimate requirement of investing, they can get up to 70% of the value of the property financed at rates starting from 3% as compared to 10% in India. So typically real estate investments are leveraged, and the return magnifies by the leverage, by the amount of borrowing you take. When the borrowing cost is very low at 3% and on a dollar based, so that also sort of appreciates the return as compared to India.
So real estate investments are leveraged, and the leverage are marketed by the returns, you mean to say that?
If you take 70% of the property financed at 3% interest, and you're enjoying the 100% appreciation at say 10%, so on your 30% what you put in, your return is much more than 10%, it's like 30-40%. So that is what I'm trying to relate to that. But again, it is the ease of access of funds at low cost is what attracts Dubai. If you today, because of RBI stipulation, any real estate loan in India is upwards of 10%, while at the same time you can borrow at 3% on a dollar denominated without dollar depreciation.
So ease of access of funds over low cost is what attracts Dubai real estate.
That magnifies the return.
Okay. So Mr. Paresh Karia, it is believed that there are more of foreign investors in Dubai and there are no genuine home buyers there. So what is the truth behind this belief?
Well, if you go to see, that used to be the scenario, some time back. Now, if you see today, like where Dubai's economy is getting vibrant, we are seeing more and more people coming back to Dubai. We are seeing more professionals coming back. We are seeing more, Dubai becoming a global economic center. There are a lot of conferences happening over there, and the economy is reviving. So there is demand. More people are coming to work in Dubai. They need housing, so there is demand for housing in Dubai, and even that is signified, that is again indicated by the fact that the rental yield is very high. People may not, all the people may not buy their house, but they need a house to stay. So they are staying on rent over there. That's the reason why rental income is very high in Dubai.
Okay.
So yes, there is, now there is genuine need for housing in Dubai, and people are actually staying in houses over there. Unlike, earlier in 2008, 2009, where a lot of houses were not even developed and they were still under construction, and those which were developed because of the economic slowdown many of them were lying vacant.
Okay, so this belief was the situation in 2008, 2009, but now this thing is changed, right?
Yes, now it is changing.
And also Dubai it has got open doors for anyone to invest. And also coincidentally, Dubai is sitting in the center of a lot of unstable environment, right from Iran, Syria, Libya, Egypt, Pakistan, India, Russia, Ukraine, and the whole of Africa. So anyone having a surplus money can easily invest. There's no restrictions. Unlike India, there are a lot of segments which requires FDI approvals, and it's not easy to invest. So Dubai has got an open door policy, and that in turn that money is being used to develop the infrastructure. So anyone investing is getting a cumulative sum effect of all these money coming in, which is deployed in the infrastructure. So basically what Dubai is doing is kept open door policy, take the money, build the infrastructure. Anyone who has visited Dubai for over the last 10 years can see the marked change. Every 6 months, it's a different city altogether. So this entire thing has been possible just because of money flowing in.
Okay. We are in conversation with Mr. Paresh Karia and Mr. Srinivasan Arun on the topic Indians investing in Dubai. It's a very important conversation. Don't miss it. This conversation will be continued in the next episode. Keep watching Spin TV. Goodbye and take care.